Hello everyone, welcome to the first video tutorial for the Revit software version 2021. I presume you've done the first section already in the tutorial, so you successfully installed Revit. And the additional content, the libraries and families that match the version you've installed. So if it's 2021, you should be installing the additional libraries and families for version 2021. If you're using an older or newer version, then you have to use the matching version for the additional content. So I'll start from the second step. You need to open Revit. Either you use the icon from the desktop, or you can just search for it in the start menu. So just type Revit, and then it should be here as well. I just click it from here, it's easier for me. And I'll hide that file down. Alright, now it's started. So for a new project, you'll just go to models here and then click on new to create a new modifier. That will be a new project, and the template we'll use is the metric construction template, and then you can just click OK. This is the user interface of Revit. So it's already mentioned, describe the PDF file here, the toolbar, buttons for the and toolbar here. Then all the tools are used for modeling. Here we have the properties window and the project browser, where all the views are listed, as well as the families, groups, and links. And this is the viewing area, so you get to view everything here. So you can see we're already opening level 1. If you want to check level 2, then you get another tab. And if you want to check the elevations, then they should be viewed here as well. And you can just close the windows if you don't need them. You can split the windows as well if you want to work in several views at the same time. So yeah, that's it. First thing, before you start actually getting into the modeling part, you should check the construction family template you're using. So to check that, you can either do it for the first time while you're creating the project. There was a button at the right side. You can just browse to the family template you want, or you can just set it by default from here. Be used always when you create a new construction template, when you create a new project. So for the second option, the permanent option, you just need to go to the File tab and then click Options. Check the file locations here, and then check the metric construction template. You'll find, if you click here, you'll find the little 3 dots at the very end. Just click on that, and then you can select your default template. The one we'll be using is the default _n_emu.rte. And I've already selected before, so you just need to select it if it's not the case, and then click open and then okay. So now the units should be metric, but if you are using a different template at the very beginning, then you might need to close and restart Revit, because the template you've already opened is something else than what you should be using. And then it will be the next time you open it, it will be the default one you've already selected. To check the units, you can just type UN on your keyboard, and then it will open the project units window view. So here you can change the units. We'll be using millimeters for the length. So that's the main unit we need to keep an eye on. The rest you can change data if you want. Other than the units, you can always check the scale in case you're modeling something based on a plan that's already done in AutoCAD or just a PDF file. Because those plans would have usually a specific scale, so you can set the scale from here, but since we're already working on a model from scratch, we don't need the scale right now. And in case you want to change those 4 markers, the elevation tags, you can just go to, I think, manage, and then additional settings, and you'll find them here, the elevation tags. You can choose whichever type you want from here, and then click OK. I'll just keep the default for the template. Alright, so we're done with the introduction, I guess. So let's start with the actual modeling. So that will be around section 4 in the PDF file. Yeah, creating grid. So first thing, you need to create the grid for your model. So we have 4 horizontal and vertical grid lines. I'll start with, I'm now in the first level, so I need to go to the architecture tab and then select grid. I'll start with the vertical lines first, so I'll guess somewhere here, and then the first line is drawn. Totally easy. If you want to continue with the second, either you check the you can rely on the blue guide here, the number, to get the 6000 spacing. That works perfectly fine. Or you can just do anywhere a straight line, and then from here the spacing you can change it after drawing it to 6000 millimeter. So both ways work perfectly fine. The last one is at 6000 as well, and you can just type escape to get out of the command, and then we can draw the horizontal grid lines as well. So I'll start from this somewhere here and then draw it. You will notice that it's taking the next number 5, but we want to use letters now for the horizontal grid lines. So you can just select the number and then left click and then delete it and just type the number you want. The letter you want. So we'll start with A and click hit enter, and then we can move on to the next one the same way. Either you rely on the guiding spacing in blue when you move your mouse, or you can just do it the same way. I'll do it again. So now it's, I think, let's go call 7000 here. And then you get the spacing, and then you can switch it back, turn it back to 4000, and it will tighten the spacing to 4000 instead of 7000. The last one would be here, and then that's it. So we're done. You'll notice it's a bit shifted to the lower left corner, so if you want to move it to be centered around the elevation tags, just use the window selection and then click on move option and move it a little bit to the center. This is center somewhere here. All right, looks a bit better. So now let's continue with the next step. So in section 5 here, you want to save the project. So to save your first project, just go to the File tab, the same as every file should be saved, and then click on Project. It will be with the extension .rvt, and you can save it wherever you want. So I'll just save this one on the desktop, and then click Save. The Revit files are not backwards compatible, so the old versions are not forward compatible, so only the newest versions are backward compatible. So version 2022 will not will open any previous version, but version 2019 or 2020 cannot open a RVT file that was modeled in Revit 2022. So just bear that in mind. And then I'll just click Save. It's just switching a bit because I'm recording, but usually you shouldn't have those visual problems. Alright, now that is saved, we'll continue with the next step. In section 6, we need to create the levels. So I'll go to the to create the levels. Of course, you need some elevation view, so you can either go to the whatever view you want, it doesn't really matter. A main remark that you should be aware of, that the grid lines should always intersect with the levels, otherwise they will not show up in the levels. So since we need to add a third level here at 7000 millimeter altitude, so I'll just go to the architecture tab again and then select levels, and it will be at 3000 millimeter. So now it should be here, and it's at 7000. So you see, of course, that they are below the level. So if you check now level 3 here, you see there's nothing, there's no grid shown. So we need to go back to the east view and then try to move them. You don't have to select them and just, drag them. You just need to select one, and you click on the you see this little circle here, and then drag it up a little bit with a left click. Now they're up beyond the third level, so they intersect with it, and then they're visible here. So now we have the horizontal grid lines shown. You need to check the other views for the vertical grid lines. So instead of what applies to the east and west is the same. So you need to do the same thing for the north and south views. Now instead of the horizontal, we have the vertical lines. So the same, they are a bit below the third level. So just select one, left click on the little circle, and just drag it up a little bit. Now they should be visible as well in the third level here. It's perfectly fine. So you can usually set the auto save as well, to save every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on what you want. Or just make sure you save every now and then. So after every main step, just do the easiest way is just to select from here File tab and save, or as you can see here, just type Control S. The easiest for me is just to type Control S. Now we've saved off what we've done so far. We'll continue with the next step. So after the levels, we need to create the foundations, and they are of type, they are isolated footings. So we'll go to the Structure tab and then select the foundation. Under the foundation section, we'll select the isolated footings, and yeah, you get the remark there's no family loaded for it, so we'll just click yes and load a suitable family. You'll notice we're in the wrong folder. This is Imperial, so we need to switch up to Libraries and then go to the UK folder, and I guess it's Structural Foundations, yes, and then the name is Pad Foundation minus Rectangular. So Pad Foundation minus Rectangular .rfa, and then click Open, and the dimensions we need are 1000 by 1000 by 500 millimeters. So the first one, and then select OK. Now we have it. So if you don't have the same footing everywhere, then we'll have to do it separately at each individual intersection. But since we're having the same footing everywhere, so I'll just do it at the grids. And then instead of just clicking at the intersections to place them, I'll just place them at the grids. But first we need to make sure we change the offset to minus 480, as mentioned in the PDF, and then they will be placed at, we're in the wrong level as well, so make sure you're in the correct level. Now we're in the correct level, and it's at minus, so level 3, let's check it again. Yeah, we're in level 1 again, that's where we should be. And then again, structure, isolated footings, and then we have already loaded the family, and then you can just click add grids, and the offset is properly set at minus 480. And here you can just use a window selection. You've selected them, and then just click on finish, and they will be placed already at the intersections. But you get the warning that they're not visible at this floor plan because the viewing range is not properly set to view them. So you can just get out of the footing command by just typing escape, and then you can go to the you can remove this warning note and you can check then the view range. So view range would be under the extend section, and then you can click on edit. You need to change the depth a little bit, so I'll keep the offset at minus 1000 as recommended in the PDF. You can click apply and then OK, or just OK, and then they'll be visible. So now we're done with the footings. So I'll be continuing with the section number 8. But once you're done with the footings, you can just type Control S to save what you've done so far, just in case something wrong happens. then you have a saved version of your work. For number 8, section number 8, we'll draw the columns. So now I'm in level 1, and what we need is the architecture tab, and then we'll go to columns, and we can select from here the column architectural. The column dimension we need is yeah, this should work as well because it's a rectangular column, but it's not the same family, I guess, as the one mentioned in the PDF. So I mean, you can just change the dimensions for this one. So you can just type edit, select edit type, and then switch the depth and width to the new dimensions we need, or as mentioned in the PDF. So I'll just follow the PDF. Need to duplicate, of course, first. So I'll load the new family, and it's in. I'll go up, and then go to. I think it's in structural columns. So we have structural columns here, and then concrete, and then concrete rectangular. Even though we'll be using a 300 by 300 millimeters, so you can just switch to the square as well. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. So I think it's because using the architectural column option and selecting the structural column. So interesting. Okay, we can load the up UK, and then columns, and then we'll go to the columns rectangular .rfa, and then select open. Now it works. So you can edit the depth and width to 300 millimeters. No, first you need to duplicate. So always keep the default template the way it is, otherwise you'll be changing it. And then from here you can just duplicate the family and give it a new name. I'll just remove the 2 and switch it to 300 by 300. And then click OK. Now you're using a new file, a new copy of the original template, and you can change the depth here to 300 and the width to 300 millimeters, and then click OK. Alright, so we're in level 1, and it will be placed from level 1 to level 2, the height. So we need to zoom in a little bit, and then here there is no option to place at the grids, unfortunately, so you have to do it one by one manually. Here as well, here. Alright, we've placed them all, so I'll get out of the command by just typing escape. And then you'll realize, as mentioned in the PDF, that the columns are not exactly connecting with the footings, so select them. I'll just do a window selection from the left side, and then now you can check whether anything else is selected or not from the filter here. So we only have the 16 columns mold, and we can change the base offset as well for them to minus 480 millimeters. And then either you can just like enter or move the mouse all the way from the properties window. It's done. So to check the view again, we don't have a 3D view yet in the project browser. To generate 3D view, you need to go to the house. You notice there's a house here at the very top. There's a little arrow next to it, and then to open a little window if you click on it. And then from the menu there, you can just select the first option, default 3D view. So here we'll find it now in the project browser, and if you select on this one, double click on it, it will open the 3D view. Now you can see they are connected to the footings, but we have the levels visible in the 3D view, which is not really any benefit, so we'll hide them from the view, at least in 3D view, from the visibility graphics menu. To get there, you can do it the same way as in the PDF through the menus, or you can just type BG on the keyboard, and it should open the visibility graphics window as well. So from here, you need to go to the annotation categories and check the option for the grid lines, for the levels. That will be an O levels, and you can just uncheck that one and click apply, and okay, they're done now. To navigate around the 3D view, either you can use the view cube here, or shift. You can type shift and click on the scroll, and then you'll move in 3D as free as you want. To zoom in, of course, you can use the scroll. All right. So for now, I'll continue with the next section, creating the beams. So you can save this step now by typing Control S, and I'll continue with the creating beams section. The beams are 300 by 600 millimeters. So we'll go to the project browser here, and I mean, you don't have to go to from here, it's already open here, so you just need to go to the first level and go to structure, beam, and select the beam family that we need. So the one what we need is a concrete regular beam. So I'll just stop here use, so we need to load it first. I'll edit the type and then load, select load, and then switch to again up to the UK folder, and it's in the structural framing folder. concrete rectangular beam .rv, and then open. So we need a beam with 300 by 600 millimeter dimensions. It is already of the same dimensions we need, so we can just click on OK. So if we're gonna do the whole thing, so make sure you tick the chain option, so it will be easier to just go from one intersection to the next without using the command to draw the beams as well. Yeah. And then now you have to type escape and then continue from here to the next. I might speed up the video till they're all done. Alright, now that we're done, we've finished the beams. We'll have to select them. If you check the 3D view, you'll notice they are at level 1, and then it's obvious from here they should be at level 2. So we need to change the offset, and for that we can just select one beam and then go to select all instances that are visible in view. And then if we switch to 3D, we'll confirm they're all selected. Then we can just change the offset for all the beams simultaneously. So the Z offset will be the same as the level height, which is 4000 millimeter. Then we can click apply. So now if we check again in level in the elevation, will be perfectly positioned at level 2, which is what we want. To continue with the next section for the tutorial, we'll have to then copy the frame to the next level. Now that we've finished the structural framing for the ground floor, we'll do it for the first floor as well. So to avoid repetition, we'll just select all the elements. You can do the window selection and make sure you selected all the elements. You can check from the filter how many elements you've selected, and it's correct. We have 16 columns and 24 beams. And then you can just copy the elements and paste them online to a selected level, which will be level 2, and then click OK. As you can see, after pasting to the new level, the columns are a bit exceeding the level 3 and below level 2. So we need to fix the offset values for the columns and beams. For that, we'll just filter out the beams first and fix the columns, and then we'll go on to the beams. So I'll click OK. Now I have the columns, and so they're exceeding the top offset by 1000, and they're already set. The top level is set at level 3, so I'll turn that to 0 and turn the base offset as well to 0. Now and click apply, and then now they fit within the 2 levels, but the beams are still exceeding the height of level 3, so I'll have to filter everything out except the beams, and then structural framing, and then click OK. And from here I'll change the Z offset value to 3000 and click apply. Now it's fitting at level 3. I'll save. So I'll continue with section 10, creating floors and slabs. For that, you'll go to the floor icon and then select, of course you need to be in the plan view, so I'll go to level 1 first and then select the floor, architectural, and now we have the option to model the floors. So we need a foundation slab of thickness 480 millimeter. So we'll edit the type of the generic floor. We already have here the family. We need to duplicate it and then name it foundation slab. So foundation slab, and its thickness is 480 millimeter, and then click OK. To change the thickness, you see it's the default thickness here is deactivated, so you need to click on the edit button, and here you can change it to 480 and then click OK, and then another OK here. This one should be since the footings are 480 millimeter below the level, so, and this one is exactly 480 millimeters, so it will take the full cover the span between the level and the top surface of the footings. So it is exactly set where it should be. So we will start modeling. The easiest way is just to select the rectangle and start modeling from one corner of the columns to the very end of the opposite corner in the other direction. And the upper left corner, then you need the lower right corner to finish, and then just click on the finish edit mode button. Now it's done. If you cannot see it, then you need to check the visibility graphics option for floors. You type VG, or you go through the menus as well, and then make sure it's ticked as visible. You can see it in the 3D as well, that it is properly modeled. So we will continue with the second level. So for this one, we'll use a structural floor, a generic floor as well, and of thickness 160 millimeter. So we will go to the architecture tab and then floor, structural floor, and then to take the generic floor 100 millimeter, and then click on edit type, duplicate, and then rename it to, I'll say structural floor 116 millimeter. and then click OK. Now we've duplicated the original family, so we can edit the thickness here to just 160 and click OK, and then just click another OK here. We'll do the same way, so need to select the rectangle option from one corner to the opposite corner on the other side. Yeah, just click on the green tick icon to finish it. So we have the slab. Now we can just select it, and then I think it is selected. Just let me check and be free. Yes. And then you can just copy it to the clipboard and then paste it aligned to the third level, and then click OK, and now it's here as well. Alright, so I'll continue with the second part of the tutorial, starting from section 11, creating walls. So as you can see, we need to go to level 1 in the floor plans, and from there you need to edit the view range to show the walls and the openings for the windows into the sills. So here I'll go to under extents, you'll find the view range, and then change the offset to 1.5 meters, and then click OK. The view depth is set already to -1000. So the family we need for the walls is the basic wall generic 90mm brick. So I'll go to the wall icon and then select the architectural wall and select the 90mm brick. Click on edit type, and then we need to duplicate it and create another family with the wall extend with the name wall exterior brick. So I'll click on duplicate and then rename it into wall ext brick -215mm and click OK. As you can see, the width is deactivated because it's a layered wall. So I'll go to the structure of the layers and click edit and change it to 215mm and click OK. Now it's updated here. The width is 215. So the last thing we need to edit in this window is the wrapping. So I'll change the wrapping at ends to exterior and click OK. So we need to change the height to level 2 and accommodate for the depth of the beams. So here you'll find the top offset. We need to set that to -600mm and click apply. The location of the line is the center lines. So I'm going to start from here. And continue. You can use the scroll to drag the grouping. So if you're gonna draw through the center lines, then you have to keep the location line at the wall center line. Or you can use the exterior finish face as your drawing line, and then you draw through the borders here. So I'll keep it the way it's mentioned in the tutorial. We'll keep it on the center line and then continue with the center lines. Make sure you turn off the chain option, because we have columns here intersecting the path of the walls, so we'll have to draw them one by one. You can drag the view by just clicking on the scroll. The rest of the walls are curtain walls, not brick walls. So I'll continue with the second level first and then get back to the curtain walls. So it's the same family for the exterior walls in the second level. And we'll start on the center lines again. Alright, I'll type escape to get out of the command and then get back to level 1 and draw the curtain panels. So the curtain wall we need is under wall architectural, and then we'll select the exterior glazing type for the curtain walls, and then draw the screens. Guns. Now we're done. And now I'll just type Ctrl S to save. Then I'll move on to the interior walls. So for the first level, we need a basic wall interior of thickness 138 millimeter. So I'll go again to the architecture tab, wall architectural. And select the basic wall interior, thickness 138 millimeter. Make sure again the level is set at 2, and we have the offset at -600 millimeters. Click apply. So we only have at the ground floor, we only have the bone here. And then type escape to turn off the command. And then I'll move to level 2. So in level 2 we have 5 rooms. I'll type enter again to get back to the previous command, then continue. the drawing. The top offset is already set to -600, so there's nothing else to change. Alright, now we're done with the walls, so I'll just type Ctrl S to save the file. You can move to the 3D view, and then you can use the view box to check the material walls. So under extents, we'll find the section box here, and then you can just drag the handles here to check the modeling blurs. I'll get back and then untick the option to the section box and continue with drawing the windows. So in section 12, the family we need for the windows is the Windows single plane .rfa. So I'll go to the architecture. I'll move to level 1 first, architecture, and then select window. I'll click on edit type and then load the family we need. It should be under the UK folder. So I'll go to libraries, UK, and then Windows single panel, and it's plain, and click open. The dimensions we need are 1360 by 910. So this one, and then I'll click OK. The sill height is set at 1.2 meters. We'll keep it that way at the default, and then I'll add the windows for the first level. So we need one here, and the last one. I'll continue for the second level, so I'll move to level 2 and click enter to use the same command, and continue from Windows. Then type escape to end the command. I'll get back to the 3D view. Now we have all our windows modeled. So I'll follow on with modeling the doors. So I'll return back to level 1. And this time we'll go to the door icon and load the family for the external double flush doors. So I'll edit the type, load the new family, which is under UK doors, UK doors, external doors, and then the doors external double flush .rfa, then click open. We need the doors dimensions to be 1810 by 2110, and then I'll click OK. I'll add the door here. So we need to add the single door as well for this room. So I'll type escape to get out of the command and then edit the type of the doors family. And then select load. And for this one, we need a internal single door up, and then go to internal doors, and then its name is int single 1, and then click OK. The dimensions type will change to 910 by 2110 millimeters. And then click OK. And now we have the door. We'll just edit here. And continue to the second level. You can type enter to get back to the command and then draw the doors. So I'll start from here. And then type escape to get out of the command, and then switch back to the 3D view. Now that we have all our doors and windows modeled, I'll continue with section 13, creating the staircase. So I'll head back to level 1 on the floor plans. I'll save the project, and then as mentioned, you need to go to under the section, select stair. We'll choose the L shape and check the mirror preview option. And then we'll just base it somewhere, I guess here. It needs to be rotated by 90 degrees, so I'll select the staircase and then just select the rotation button. And I'll set the angle to 90 degrees and type enter. I'll check it in the 3D view. So I can go to 3D view here. Yeah, I need to finish the edit mode, so I'll just click on the green tick. So to isolate the slabs and staircase along with the footings, you can just use a window selection and then click on the filter. You can check none first and then check what you need. So we need the staircase, and the foundations as well as the floors. And then click OK. To isolate them, just click on the glasses here at the very bottom and click on isolate elements. Now they're here. You'll notice that there is no shaft that contains the staircase. So the staircase is just intersecting the slabs. To create that, I'll turn off the isolation window. So just reset it. And then I'll move to the first level for the plan and then go to the shaft option. And then I'll start by drawing the rectangle again from this side to this side. It's done, so make sure the height is set properly. So I need it from the base. Offset should be 0 and it will contain the top constraint up to level 2. So it will start from level 1 and it will continue to level 2. Base offset will be 0. And then I'll click apply and finish. If you check in the 3D again view, this time I'll just use a section box, it's easier, and then click on it and drag the handles a little bit in, and now you can see here if you can use the shift and the scroll to view it, and then you can see here we have the staircase and the shaft modeled. So we'll draw the ratings for the second level and then fix the beam. I'll go to level 2. So to draw the missing rails, I'll just go to ratings and then make sure the chain option is ticked on, and then I'll start from here, then continue to the endpoint, next endpoint, and then type escape to finish the command and then finish the edit mode. You can check it back again in the 3D view. I'll create another section box quickly, and then I'll just drag the handles early in, and now you can see to rotate in the 3D view, just select on the click on the scroll and type shift as well, and then it will rotate, and now you can see it's there. If I just move the handles a bit, it's molded perfectly fine. But you can see, of course, there's a beam cutting through the staircase, so we'll just delete that one. You just select it and type delete on the keyboard. And then I'll move to section 14, defining the rooms. So I'll deactivate the selection box. And I'll get back to level 1. So I'll select a room and then put it here. I'll set the upper limit to level 2 and set the offset to 0. And then I'll place the second room here. I'll go on to the second level and place the other rooms as well. So I'll start, you can type enter to get back to the room option. So the upper limit will be level 3, and I'll set the offset back to 0. I'll continue with the third, 4, and then number 5, 6, and 7. And then add the last one here. I'll tap escape to get out of the command, and then add the area tags. So I'll check the tag room option and click edit type, and then tick on show area and click OK. Now the areas are visible. I'll just type escape to get out of the command, and then return back to level 1, the visible here as well. Then I'll continue with section 15, creating dimensioning. So I'll move to the annotation tab, and then select the align dimension. So here I'll click on the first grid line till the windows, and then to the other edge of the window, and then to the grid line. I'll continue the same way here as well, and then you can just place it wherever you want. You just need to click somewhere else, so I'll just click it here. And then type escape to get out of the command. I'll move to section 16, creating camera views. So I'll just center the plan a little bit. So to create a camera view, you need the camera, of course. So I'll just go to this window and then select a camera here, and I will place it somewhere, I guess as mentioned in the tutorial, somewhere here, and then set the view to around here, I guess. A bit further, maybe like this. So if you want to see it in a realistic view, you need to change the options here for the graphic display and select realistic. So I'll move on to the next section, creating walkthroughs. I'll turn off the realistic option, so I'll get back to the hidden line. So I'll move on to the next section, creating walkthroughs. For that, I'll head back to level 1 in the floor plans. Make sure you're viewing the crop box here. So the crop view is turned on, but the crop region is not visible. So I'll turn the visibility for it. If you cannot see the window, it's either too small or too large. I guess mine is too large. Yep, now it's here. So if you want to change this size, you can just grab the control handle here and then expand it a little bit. If you want to turn it off or on, you can do it from here as well, this icon, at the crop region, or turn it on. To create the walkthrough itself under the 3D view icon, you'll open the submenu and then select the walkthrough. And I'll just draw the path for the main frames. Something like this, I guess. and then click on Finish Walkthrough. You'll notice the pose of the camera is not showing the building itself because the camera is pointing somewhere far away from the building. So we need to change the angle. So if the walkthrough is selected, I'll just click on Edit Walkthrough here, and then change the angle from this magenta dot here. I can just make it a little bit pointing towards the building. And then for the other main frames, I'll need to do the same thing. So I'll get back here, and then you'll notice that the view is not showing the building. So just grab the magenta dot and make it a little bit rotated towards the building. Again, grab the camera, say here, you cannot change the pose at the you can only change the rotation at the main frames, not the and now we're done. So I'll just click somewhere and then save. To play it, I'll just go to the walkthrough here, and then we can just select it again and edit walkthrough, and then just play it. As you can see here, it's playing and showing everything. And you can switch the visual style to realistic, but it will be too slow depending on your computer. As you can see here, it's already having visualization problems. So I'll turn it off now. Moving on to the next section in the tutorial, creating sections. I'll create one in the first level. So on the view, you'll find section. You can just click on the icon and draw the section you want to view. This will show the viewing direction from here to here. If you want to flip it, then you just click here and it will show in the other direction. You can change the range of the view from here by grabbing the handles or switching it to the other side as well. You can just type escape to get out of the command, and then you have your section. If you double click on it, you can edit again. And then under the project browser, you'll find your sections here. And you can double click on it and it will open the section you've created. The last part in the tutorial is about drawing sheets. So I'll head back to level 1 in floor plans. So under the view tab, you'll find the sheet icon under the sheet composition section. I'll click on it and then load the template we need. It will be in the UK folder, so I need to go to the UK folder and then title blocks. And then I'll choose the A1 metric and then click open. Now I have it here in the list, and then I'll just click OK. And then you can add the views you want here. So I'll click here on view and select the views I want to add. I'll add the 3D view one. level 0. And place it here, and then do it again for the section we've created. I'll place it here. And then add the elevation from the north side. Somewhere here. For the last block in the sheet, I'll add the floor plan. So I'll go to add view and then select level 1 and then add view to sheet. You'll notice it's a bit too large because our crop view is still activated and it's too large. So I'll type escape, get back to level 1 first, and then resize the window, make sure it fits. Send something like this would be sufficient for our crop tool, or maybe even a bit smaller. And you can turn off the visibility for it. We don't need it here anyway. I'll redo it again for level 1, and now it's much better. I'll change the crop view as well here for the elevation. Since they are a bit overlapping, I'll just resize the crop view for the elevation on the north side. So I'll just go to the north window and then show the crop view, and then resize it a bit. And then turn it off again. Much better. So I'll turn back to my sheet. And as you can see, it's already updated here as well.